It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. Epictetus. What if I told you that one of the deepest pains a woman feels isn't money, gifts, or grand gestures? It's when she senses that her man isn't fully present, respected, or valued. That subtle lack of recognition can silently erode connection, trust, and attraction, leaving her emotionally unfulfilled, even if everything else seems perfect on the surface. In this video, we're going to dive into a Stoic approach to understanding this pain, uncover why value matters far more than effort alone, and reveal how your mindset, presence, and self-mastery can completely transform how she perceives you. We'll strip away misconceptions, uncover the invisible dynamics that most men miss, and show you actionable strategies that not only build respect but silently command her admiration. If you watch till the very end, you'll gain insights that most men never learn, unlocking the rare power of true presence and value in a relationship. By applying these principles, you'll stop chasing validation and start embodying it naturally and effortlessly. Stay with me, because what you learn here can completely change the way you are seen, not just by her, but by everyone around you. Number 1, recognizing when your worth is ignored and staying composed. Recognizing when your worth is being ignored is one of the most subtle but powerful skills you can develop. It's not always loud or obvious. Sometimes it's in the small things, the overlooked messages, the unacknowledged effort, the way your contributions seem invisible. And yet, if you ignore these signs, they accumulate quietly, eroding your confidence and your sense of self. The Stoics remind us through the words of, "Never esteem anything as of advantage to you that will make you break your word or lose your self-respect." Your value is not something to negotiate. It is intrinsic, unwavering, and non-negotiable. When someone fails to recognize it, that is their limitation, not yours. The first step is awareness. You must cultivate the ability to notice when your energy, time, or presence is not being met with respect or appreciation. This requires honesty with yourself. Don't justify dismissive behavior. Don't excuse being overlooked. Observe it. Write it down. Track the moments when you felt invisible or undervalued. When you start mapping these patterns, you begin to see the truth clearly, where your worth is being ignored and where it is being honored. This is not about resentment, it's about clarity. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it, said. Extend that wisdom to yourself. If your worth is not being acknowledged, it is not your job to prove it to others endlessly. Next comes composure. Recognizing that your worth is ignored is only half the battle. The true mastery is in how you respond. You must train yourself to remain calm, measured, and self-possessed. Do not let slight or neglect provoke frustration, anger, or desperation. You cannot control how others see you, but you can control how you react. This is where Stoicism becomes practical. Your power lies not in changing someone else's perception, but in choosing your actions with dignity. When you stay composed, you assert your value without a word. Your calm is louder than any argument or plea. Practical exercises can help you internalize this. Each day, practice affirming your own worth. Stand in front of a mirror and remind yourself of what you bring to your relationships, your work, your life. Visualize situations where you might feel ignored and rehearse responding with calm, confidence, and self-respect. Breathe deeply, center yourself, and detach from the need for external validation. Journaling can also be transformative. Write down moments where your value was overlooked, then explore how you can protect your energy and maintain your composure in the future. Another powerful habit is setting boundaries. When your worth is ignored, it is a signal to evaluate how much of your time and energy you allow others to occupy. Practice saying no without guilt. Reduce engagement in spaces or relationships that erode your confidence. Fill that space with what nourishes you: study, meditation, exercise, or meaningful connections that see and respect you. Epictetus teaches, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens. Your recognition of your worth and your choice to protect it is entirely within your control. Ultimately, mastery of this principle changes everything. You move through life with a quiet power, a resilience that cannot be shaken by others' neglect or indifference. You no longer chase validation because you know where it originates, within yourself. You no longer react impulsively to slights because your composure signals strength and self-respect. And every time you practice awareness, calm, and boundary setting, you reinforce the habit of valuing yourself. This is not about ego or pride. It is about self-mastery, about building a life that reflects your true worth. You are teaching the world how to treat you, not by force but by example. You are becoming the person who recognizes their value and refuses to settle for less. And in that, you embody the essence of Stoic wisdom, a calm, unshakable, and self-possessed power that nothing external can diminish. Number 2, practicing emotional detachment instead of seeking validation. Practicing emotional detachment instead of constantly seeking validation is one of the most powerful shifts you can make in your life. It changes everything about how you interact with people, how you respond to challenges, and ultimately how you value yourself. Too often, we fall into the trap of measuring our worth by the attention we receive or the approval we crave. But here's the truth: the approval of others is fleeting. It can't define you. Reminds us, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek truth, not approval. Your focus should always be on your principles, your growth, and your actions, not on a fleeting external pat on the back. You need to understand that when you seek validation, you give away power. Every time you look for approval, you surrender a piece of your emotional sovereignty to someone else. You make your peace and your self-worth dependent on the moods, whims, and opinions of people who may not even respect your values. Emotional detachment doesn't mean being cold, distant, or uncaring. It's about holding yourself steady in the storm, refusing to let external forces dictate how you feel. It's about acting with intention, not reacting from a place of need. Every time you anchor yourself internally, you reinforce a quiet strength that cannot be shaken by another's indifference or criticism. Start by observing your own impulses. Notice the moments when you feel the urge to seek approval, to fish for compliments, or to adjust yourself to please someone else. Don't judge yourself for it. That only creates resistance, but mark it as an opportunity. Each time, pause, take a deep breath, and remind yourself that your value is inherent. Write it down if you need to. I am enough. My actions define me, not the reactions of others. Repeat it until it feels unshakable. Over time, this internal repetition rewires your mind to stop craving external affirmation. Next, practice conscious detachment in interactions. Engage fully but with awareness. You can listen, respond, and connect without tying your emotional stability to the response you receive. This is an exercise in mastering your inner domain. Think of it like this: you are the captain of your ship, and the opinions of others are just waves. They might push against you, but they cannot steer your course unless you allow them to. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your reaction is your choice. Guard it, guide it, keep it anchored in your principles. You can also build daily habits that strengthen this detachment. Meditate on your values each morning. Journal about moments where you gave too much emotional weight to others' opinions and reflect on how you could approach it differently next time. Take moments throughout your day to check in with yourself. Am I seeking validation right now, or am I acting from my own clarity? These small, intentional pauses create a mental muscle that grows stronger with each repetition. Finally, replace the habit of seeking validation with self-reinforcement. Celebrate your wins privately. Acknowledge your growth, your efforts, and your discipline. Find satisfaction in being aligned with your own principles rather than waiting for someone else to notice. The more you practice this, the more resilient you become. Emotional detachment doesn't make you cold, it makes you unshakable. It gives you freedom. You stop chasing approval because you've discovered something far more potent: your own sovereignty, your own authority over your mind and emotions. Every time you choose detachment over validation, you step closer to the Stoic ideal of a life governed by reason and virtue rather than whims and external pressures. You reclaim your power, your peace, and your purpose. You stop being affected by what a woman or anyone fails to value because you already know your value. And in that quiet, unyielding confidence, you become untouchable, not through force or aggression, but through mastery of yourself. Number 3, setting clear boundaries and walking away silently. Setting clear boundaries and walking away silently is one of the most powerful moves you can make, not just for your peace of mind, but for the clarity and strength it cultivates within you. Many people confuse silence with weakness, but true strength often shows up in restraint. As Epictetus said, we cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. When a woman, or anyone, fails to value you, the natural response might be to argue, explain, or try harder. But every minute you spend trying to force respect is energy lost, momentum wasted. Your value is inherent. It does not need validation from someone unwilling to recognize it. Setting boundaries isn't about punishment. It's about self-preservation, about showing yourself that your time, energy, and dignity matter more than external approval. Start by being precise about what is acceptable and what is not. Reflect quietly on your interactions, on moments when you felt drained, dismissed, or unappreciated. Ask yourself, what behaviors are you no longer willing to tolerate? What crosses the line and costs your peace? Writing these down is powerful. It transforms vague frustration into concrete standards. Once you know your limits, communicate them calmly, without anger or guilt. You don't need to convince anyone to respect you. You only need to make it unmistakably clear what your boundaries are. Silence, in this case, becomes your ally. It is not absence of action. It is deliberate restraint, a demonstration of self-control, a refusal to negotiate your value. Walking away silently is equally crucial. You might fear that leaving without confrontation will make you appear passive or weak, but the opposite is true. The quiet withdrawal communicates more than words ever could. It signals that your peace cannot be bargained for, that your standards are not negotiable, and that respect is not optional. As reminds us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When you maintain composure, when you exit calmly, you are not reacting to insult or dismissal. You are reinforcing your own internal equilibrium. You preserve your dignity while showing that your energy is too valuable to waste on someone who cannot recognize it. In practical terms, practice is everything. Start with small exercises. Step away from minor disputes without commentary. Pause before responding to unnecessary criticism. Notice how it feels to hold your ground silently rather than. Gradually, this builds a habit of calm detachment so that when a deeper boundary is crossed, you are prepared to act without drama, without explanation, without compromise. Meditation can enhance this. Spend 5 minutes each day visualizing yourself setting boundaries clearly and walking away without a trace of agitation. Imagine the relief, the lightness, the control that comes from not being entangled in someone else's disregard. Your boundaries are a reflection of self-respect, and walking away silently is a declaration of your sovereignty. This is not about punishing the other person. It is about honoring yourself. Every time you step back, every time you choose calm over reaction, you strengthen your capacity for discernment. You start noticing patterns sooner, acting sooner, and refusing sooner. Your life becomes yours to navigate, free from the unnecessary weight of people who fail to appreciate your value. Remember, a man who understands his worth does not plead, does not explain, and does not justify. He acts with intention, sets standards, and walks away when they are not met. Silence here is eloquent. Action here is decisive. Energy is protected, dignity preserved. You are cultivating not just peace, but a life governed by self-mastery, clarity, and unshakable confidence. Practice this consistently, and you'll discover a quiet power within yourself that no disrespect can touch. Number 4. Focusing on self-improvement over external approval. Focusing on self-improvement over external approval is one of the most liberating practices you can adopt, yet it's also one of the hardest. Every day, you're bombarded by messages, subtle, loud, insidious, telling you that your worth is measured by what others think, by their recognition, their validation, their fleeting attention. But Stoicism teaches something radically different. Said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. The essence here is simple. Your life, your character, your growth do not depend on anyone else's applause. When you focus on improving yourself, physically, mentally, emotionally, you reclaim the power that always belonged to you. You stop being a reflection in someone else's eyes and start being a full, vibrant presence in your own. It begins with awareness. Start noticing how often your actions are driven by the need for validation rather than by your own values. Ask yourself honestly, am I doing this to impress someone? Am I seeking approval because it soothes my ego? Recognizing these patterns is uncomfortable but necessary. Once you see them, you can begin to break free. Every time you choose to act out of integrity, discipline, or curiosity rather than the hope of recognition, you are taking a decisive step toward mastery of yourself. This is where real power lies, not in their approval, but in your deliberate choices. Next, redirect your energy. Invest in practices that enhance your mind and body without expecting anyone to notice. Read, journal, meditate, exercise, or learn a new skill. Set goals that push you, challenge you, expand your potential. Measure your progress not by likes, comments, or fleeting praise, but by the quiet knowledge that you are becoming a stronger, wiser, more capable version of yourself. This is the difference between living for validation and living for virtue. The Stoics call it living in accordance with nature, with your rational mind, with your values. You cannot control what others value, but you can control what you cultivate within yourself. Daily exercises can make this real. Begin with journaling. Each morning, write down one action you will take today solely to improve yourself, not to impress anyone. Reflect each evening. What did you do that grew you? What did you chase that only fed someone else's perception? These small acts of self-awareness are transformative. They shift your focus from external mirrors to internal growth, from fleeting recognition to lasting strength. You also need to guard your attention like a fortress. Social media, gossip, constant comparison, they all pull you toward external validation. Limit exposure. Reclaim your focus. Spend time in solitude, not as isolation, but as a sanctuary for reflection and self-betterment. Meditate on the Stoic idea that external opinions are beyond your control. You cannot make everyone appreciate your efforts or respect your growth. Why then should you spend energy trying to gain what is not yours to claim? Instead, nurture what is yours: your discipline, your clarity, your skill, your calm. Finally, embody the truth that self-improvement is a lifelong journey, not a performance for approval. Every moment you prioritize growth, you are silently reinforcing your worth. You become a man who cannot be shaken by indifference or dismissal. You cultivate a presence that commands respect without needing to demand it, because your value emanates from your actions, your character, and your self-mastery. Remember Epictetus. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Let that be your compass. Focus inward. Improve relentlessly. Let the world catch up or not. Your growth is yours and nothing external can take that away. Number 5. Using Stoic reflection to understand her behavior without resentment. When someone doesn't value you, the instinctive reaction is often hurt, frustration, or even anger. But here's the Stoic truth. The only control you truly have is over your own mind. You cannot force respect or appreciation from someone else, but you can choose how you perceive their actions, how you react, and how you grow from the experience. As reminds us, if someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth, by which no one was ever truly harmed. This principle applies not just to your own growth, but to the way you observe others. Using Stoic reflection, you can analyze her behavior without resentment, without letting bitterness settle in your heart, and without sacrificing your inner peace. Start by observing objectively. Don't label her actions as bad or wrong. Simply note them. What is she doing? How does she respond to your presence, your attention, your care? Approach it like a scientist studying human behavior, not like someone looking to justify hurt feelings. The Stoics teach that our emotions are our judgments, not the events themselves. If you find yourself frustrated or upset, pause. Ask yourself, is this my judgment causing the pain, or is it her behavior? Once you separate the fact from the feeling, clarity begins to emerge. Next, reflect on why her behavior matters to you. Is it about your ego? Is it about unmet expectations? Identify the source. Stoic reflection isn't about suppressing emotion, it's about understanding it. By examining your own reactions, you gain insight into what you truly value, what boundaries are non-negotiable, and what behaviors you will not accept. Write these reflections down. Journaling is one of the most powerful tools for this. When you articulate your thoughts clearly, you begin to see patterns, not just in her actions, but in your own responses. Now, practice detachment without indifference. Detachment doesn't mean coldness or disengagement. It means that you no longer allow someone else's choices to disrupt your internal equilibrium. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Her inability or unwillingness to value you is her choice, not a reflection of your worth. Remind yourself of this daily. Visualize her behavior as a wave passing by, and you as the rock that remains unshaken. The wave may crash, but it cannot move you. To embed this practice, set aside time each day for reflection exercises. Sit quietly for 10 minutes and recall the moments that tested your patience or triggered hurt. See them for what they are, actions, not judgments, and allow yourself to respond with calm analysis rather than immediate reaction. Ask yourself, what can I learn? How can I preserve my peace? What boundaries should I strengthen? By turning every emotional encounter into a moment of self-mastery, you transform what would otherwise be pain into wisdom. Finally, act with intention. Once you have clarity, let your actions reflect your values, not your emotions. Do not seek to punish, control, or manipulate her behavior. Instead, act in ways that maintain your dignity and reinforce your standards. This may mean walking away, setting firmer boundaries, or simply redirecting your energy to people and pursuits that recognize your worth. Every time you respond with calm instead of resentment, you train yourself to live according to Stoic principles. Using Stoic reflection this way is not passive, it's strategic, empowering, and liberating. You no longer need validation from someone who cannot give it. You reclaim control of your thoughts, your emotions, and your life. You grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. And the beauty of it is this: the more you practice observing without resentment, the more effortless it becomes. Your inner peace becomes untouchable, your clarity unshakable, and your confidence undeniable. Step into that practice today. Guard your mind. Honor your values. Let Stoic reflection transform every moment of hurt into an opportunity for mastery. Remember, the pain you feel when someone doesn't value you isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a mirror of their own inability to appreciate it. As reminds us, choose not to be harmed, and you won't feel harmed. Today, you've seen how silently detaching, guarding your energy, and embracing your self-respect can transform that hurt into strength. If this message resonated with you, don't just leave it behind, take action. Reflect on where you've allowed others to undervalue you and reclaim your boundaries starting today. Your peace, your dignity, your focus, they are yours to protect. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe so you never miss a chance to strengthen your mind and live by Stoic principles. And remember, real power lies in valuing yourself before anyone else does. Stay disciplined, stay unshaken, and keep leveling up. He who is brave is free. Seneca. What if I told you that the compliments women secretly crave the most aren't the ones you think? That the words you casually throw around you look nice? Or your smart rarely leave a lasting impact? It's true. Most women, in fact, quietly yearn for recognition that touches deeper layers of their identity, their confidence, and their sense of being truly seen, but they rarely admit it aloud. In today's video, we're diving into the top 3 compliments women crave but won't admit. And I promise you, these aren't your typical surface-level praises. These are the subtle, powerful acknowledgments that make them feel genuinely valued, respected, and understood. Whether you want to improve your relationships, communicate with more impact, or simply understand the hidden psychology of admiration, this video will give you actionable insights that most people overlook entirely. Stick with me until the very end, because missing even one of these 3 could mean you're still operating on outdated assumptions, while the small shifts you learn here could transform the way women perceive and connect with you. By the time we're done, you won't just be giving compliments, you'll be delivering recognition that resonates deeply, effortlessly, and memorably. Number 1, you inspire me. You inspire me. It's more than just a phrase. It's a recognition of strength, of courage, of presence. And here's the truth. Women crave it even if they won't openly admit it. When you tell someone they inspire you, you aren't merely handing out empty words. You are acknowledging the ripple of their energy, the light they carry that affects the world around them. As said, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Inspiration is contagious. When you point it out, you reinforce the goodness, the effort, the courage that already exists. You hold up a mirror to their virtues and in doing so, create a connection that transcends superficial compliments. Think about how often people feel unseen. Most interactions skim the surface. A casual "you look nice" or "good job" barely scratches the human need to feel recognized for who they are and how they move through life. When you say "you inspire me," you elevate the conversation. You challenge them to keep reaching, keep becoming, and you challenge yourself to notice the remarkable qualities that often go unnoticed. Inspiration isn't about flattery, it's about awareness. Observe, listen, reflect. Take note of the small acts of courage, the decisions made with integrity, the perseverance that isn't broadcast but quietly fuels progress. Then, call it out. Here, where action meets words. Inspiration works when it's authentic, when it's deliberate. Don't say it lightly, feel it. Let it anchor your observation, your connection, your intention to see the person fully. And here's a practical exercise. Each day, identify at least one quality in someone around you that genuinely moves you. Write it down. Reflect on why it resonates. Then express it. Speak it aloud or write it as a message. The act of recognizing inspiration externally reinforces it internally. You train your own mind to notice brilliance, resilience, and virtue. You sharpen your ability to appreciate life beyond surface impressions, and in doing so, you amplify your own capacity to inspire others in return. Consider the Stoic perspective. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. When you notice inspiration, you elevate the quality of your thoughts. You transform your perception from passive observation to active engagement. You cultivate gratitude and awareness simultaneously. This is a practice you can adopt every single day, seeing the extraordinary in the ordinary, recognizing the subtle excellence in action, and speaking it into the world. And when you do this consistently, something remarkable happens. The energy between you and the other person shifts. There's a depth that develops, a resonance that can't be manufactured with compliments about appearance or status. You are connecting on a plane of genuine admiration, respect, and recognition of effort. So challenge yourself. Don't settle for the surface-level interactions. Train yourself to notice what inspires you in others. Speak it. Let it flow naturally. Encourage them through acknowledgement and notice how it shifts not just their mindset but yours as well. You become more present, more attentive, and more attuned to the virtues that surround you every day. Saying, "You inspire me," isn't just a compliment, it's a catalyst. It's a moment of shared recognition that lifts both the speaker and the one being spoken to. Use it, practice it, make it part of your daily interactions. Observation, reflection, acknowledgement, these are not just words. They are exercises in presence, in gratitude, in living with intention. And when you start doing this, you'll notice something undeniable. The world becomes richer, more connected, and infinitely more inspiring. Number 2, I respect your independence. Saying, "I respect your independence," might seem simple, almost ordinary, but it carries weight that resonates far deeper than most words. Think about it. In a world where people often try to control, influence, or shape others to fit their desires, acknowledging someone's autonomy is revolutionary. When you genuinely recognize another person's ability to think, act, and live according to their own principles, you're not just giving them a compliment, you're honoring their inner strength. And women, like anyone, crave this acknowledgement more than they often admit, because independence is sacred, and having it recognized is empowering. As Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Respecting someone's independence is noticing that their reactions, choices, and direction in life belong entirely to them, and you're not trying to claim ownership over it. You can take this beyond words. Observe how you respond to moments when she asserts her autonomy. Do you listen without judgment? Do you support decisions without imposing your own preferences? You can practice this daily, even in small, seemingly insignificant choices. When she makes a decision that doesn't involve you directly, pause, breathe, and acknowledge it mentally. Remind yourself that her ability to choose freely is a reflection of her strength, not a challenge to you. Let your actions show it. Don't interrupt, don't undermine, don't subtly redirect. Stand back with quiet confidence and honor the space she commands for herself. You can even turn this into an intentional habit, a daily exercise in Stoic practice. Begin by journaling every evening. Identify moments where you may have unconsciously resisted someone else's autonomy, small instances, perhaps even in thought. Reflect on how you can shift your approach tomorrow. Imagine yourself as a guardian of freedom rather than a challenger of control. Then, actively express this respect in your interactions. Simple acknowledgments, pauses to listen fully, and avoiding unsolicited advice become not just gestures, but a declaration of recognition. You are reinforcing their sovereignty as a person while strengthening your own character. Respecting independence also transforms the way you engage with yourself. When you see her as autonomous, it reminds you of your own need to act with integrity and self-sufficiency. You model the Stoic principle of self-mastery. First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. By valuing her independence, you sharpen your awareness of your own freedom, your own responsibility to live deliberately, and your own commitment to act with calm, deliberate choice rather than reactive impulse. And don't underestimate the power of consistency. One word spoken once fades quickly, but habitual acknowledgement of autonomy through respectful gestures, measured support, and genuine curiosity signals that your respect is rooted in truth, not momentary charm. Let this habit seep into every conversation, every interaction. Notice how your perception changes. Relationships shift from dependence or expectation to mutual empowerment. You are no longer trying to control outcomes. Instead, you are practicing the Stoic mastery of influence. We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond. So begin now. Practice listening without interruption. Validate decisions without criticism. Celebrate the freedom that exists in others, and by doing so, cultivate your own. This isn't a one-time effort. It's a continual refinement of your character, an exercise in patience, empathy, and self-restraint. Saying, "I respect your independence," is more than words. It's a reflection of your commitment to honor strength, sovereignty, and the quiet power that comes from living deliberately. Speak it, show it, embody it, and watch as the energy in your relationships transforms, because respect, once genuine, is unforgettable. Number 3, you make me a better person. You make me a better person. It's simple, yet it carries a weight that few words can match. This isn't about flattery. It's about acknowledging the power someone has to inspire growth, to awaken qualities in you that were dormant, to illuminate the parts of yourself you didn't even know needed light. As Epictetus reminds us, we are not disturbed by things, but by the views we take of them. When you tell someone they make you a better person, you're recognizing their presence as a catalyst for refinement, not just in trivial ways, but in the deep architecture of your character. Think about that for a moment. What if you approached every relationship with the intent to become stronger, wiser, calmer, more virtuous? Imagine the clarity that would bring. This phrase isn't casual, it's an invitation. It asks the other person to witness your growth, and in doing so, to continue inspiring it. And here's the truth most people miss. Women crave this recognition not because they need validation, but because they want to know their influence is meaningful. They want to know that the energy, attention, and care they pour into interactions aren't wasted. When you voice it sincerely, you acknowledge their impact, but you also commit yourself to the same principle, to constantly evolve. You're telling them, "I see the way you challenge me, stretch me, push me beyond comfort. I notice it, I honor it, and I act on it." But this isn't something you can simply say and leave at that. Growth is an action, a daily practice, a habit that demands your attention. You must cultivate awareness of the ways you are being shaped. Start by reflecting each morning. What did I learn yesterday that I can carry forward? What moments revealed the best version of myself, and what role did others play in those moments? Journal your insights. Let your words become a mirror to your evolving self. Then, in conversation, offer gratitude not superficially, but with the weight of truth behind it. Notice the small ways their words, their patience, their energy nudges you toward discipline, courage, or patience. There's also an unspoken Stoic lesson embedded here. By recognizing the influence of another, you anchor yourself in humility. Said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." You can choose to see challenges, frictions, and differences in interactions as sources of irritation, or as mirrors reflecting what you need to improve. When you tell someone they make you a better person, you admit that they've helped remove an impediment or perhaps revealed one, and you're taking conscious steps to move forward. You are both student and practitioner, learning how to be more mindful, more patient, more grounded. To make this real in your life, begin small. Identify one person whose presence elevates you, not because they control you, but because they inspire you. Observe the specific ways they influence your thoughts, reactions, and habits. Take note in your journal, even if it's a single sentence each day. Then, when the moment is right, say it. Let them know with full awareness and sincerity that they make you a better person. Don't rush it. Don't dilute it. Deliver it with the weight it deserves. Over time, this simple recognition transforms your relationships. It moves them from transactional interactions to profound connections, rooted in growth and mutual respect. And perhaps most importantly, it trains you to seek improvement not as a demand of the world, but as a practice of your own virtue. You are acknowledging influence, embracing humility, and committing to excellence, all in one breath. That's the power of these words. That's the depth hidden behind "you make me a better person." And when you live this way, every interaction becomes an opportunity to rise, to strengthen, and to act with intentionality. Remember what Epictetus said: "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." The same goes for connection. You can't force admiration, but you can inspire it with understanding and presence. Now that you know the top 3 compliments women secretly crave, it's up to you to practice them thoughtfully, with authenticity and calm confidence. If you found these insights valuable, don't just watch and forget. Apply them in your daily interactions, notice the shift, and see the subtle power of words grounded in respect and awareness. And if you want more strategies rooted in Stoic wisdom to elevate your relationships and personal growth, hit that subscribe button and watch our other videos. You'll thank yourself later. Stay deliberate, stay composed, and keep mastering the art of meaningful connection. Until next time, walk through the world with quiet strength and let your actions speak louder than compliments ever could. He who is brave is free. Seneca. What if I told you that living alone in your later years could actually be the most liberating chapter of your life, if you know how to embrace it? Most people dread the thought of solitude as they age, associating it with loneliness, isolation, and decline. But what if the reality could be the exact opposite? A chance to reclaim control, focus on what truly matters, and live on your own terms. In today's video, we're diving into the untold truths about living alone in your later years through the lens of modern Stoicism. You'll discover why solitude isn't a punishment, but a powerful tool for self-mastery, emotional resilience, and inner peace. From reframing your mindset around independence to practical routines that keep your mind sharp and spirit steady, we'll unpack how to transform what society often sees as lonely into an empowering, intentional lifestyle. By the end of this video, you'll walk away with actionable strategies that let you not just survive, but thrive alone, confidently, peacefully, and fully in control. Stay with me until the very end, because the final insights are what can truly change how you approach freedom, purpose, and serenity in your later years. Number 1, true freedom comes with solitude, learning to enjoy your own company. True freedom isn't about traveling the world, owning a mansion, or filling your calendar with endless social obligations. True freedom begins in the quiet, in the moments when it's just you and your thoughts. Once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." And this is exactly what living alone in your later years offers if you're willing to embrace it fully. You have the chance to cultivate a life that is entirely your own, free from the constant noise of others, expectations, judgments, or dramas. The first step is to stop fearing solitude. Most people run from it, but if you lean into it, you'll discover that the company of yourself is enough. Not only enough, it's liberating. You can start by dedicating a few minutes each day to simply being present with yourself. Sit in silence. Don't reach for your phone, don't distract yourself. Observe your thoughts without judgment. Let them flow like water, neither clinging nor resisting. This small daily exercise strengthens your mind, your self-reliance, and your ability to enjoy your own presence. Over time, you'll notice a shift. Loneliness turns into self-contentment. Anxiety about what others think fades. The only approval you need is your own, and the only judgment that matters is your own. Next, cultivate activities that feed your soul, not just fill your time. Read, journal, meditate, or walk without a destination. These aren't mere hobbies. They are tools to deepen your connection with yourself. As Seneca advised, true happiness is to enjoy the present without anxious dependence upon the future. When you learn to find joy in your own rhythms, in your own choices, your freedom expands. You become resilient, not because life has shielded you from challenges, but because you have mastered the art of being content within your own mind. One practical exercise is to intentionally schedule periods where you do nothing but engage with yourself. Turn off notifications, step away from distractions, and ask yourself, what do I truly want in this moment? Listen carefully to the answer, and then act on it, even in small ways. Maybe it's brewing tea and savoring it. Maybe it's writing down your thoughts without editing. The key is to strengthen the habit of self-connection. Your inner dialogue becomes your ally rather than your critic. This is where the Stoics saw real freedom, not in escaping the world, but in learning to stand steady within it, anchored by your own presence. Finally, embrace the unpredictability of your own mind. Some days, solitude will feel heavy. You may feel the absence of companionship keenly, but lean into it instead of running. Ask yourself what these feelings are trying to teach you. Every moment alone is a chance to practice equanimity, patience, and self-mastery. Over time, you'll discover a profound truth. Freedom isn't given, it's claimed. And you claim it by cultivating a life that thrives on your own company. So take action today. Start small. Sit, breathe, observe, and create rituals that honor your independence. Celebrate the small victories of self-sufficiency. Delight in the silence. When you truly learn to enjoy your own company, you'll realize that freedom isn't a distant dream. It's a living reality that begins the moment you stop fearing the quiet and start embracing it. Your later years can be a sanctuary of autonomy, strength, and peace if you make solitude your ally rather than your enemy. Number 2, emotional resilience grows when you face life's challenges alone. You might not realize it yet, but living alone later in life is not a sentence. It's a powerful opportunity to strengthen the part of you that nobody can touch, your emotional core. Once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. And that's exactly what solitude teaches you. When you face life's challenges alone, you discover an inner reservoir of resilience you didn't know existed. It's in the quiet moments, the unbroken stretches of self-reflection, that your mind learns to endure, adapt, and rise above. You begin to notice a shift. Situations that once would have rattled you, unexpected losses, emotional turbulence, or even just the monotony of daily struggles, stop having the same grip over you. That doesn't mean life becomes easy. Far from it. But it does mean that when difficulties appear, you don't collapse under them. You stand firm, guided by reason rather than reaction. This growth doesn't happen by chance. It requires intentional practice, a deliberate choice to confront discomfort rather than escape it. Start small. When a wave of loneliness hits, instead of reaching for distraction, breathe deeply and sit with it. Ask yourself, what is this moment teaching me about my capacity to endure? How can I respond with calm and clarity? Journaling is another tool that transforms isolation into strength. Write down your fears, frustrations, and uncertainties. Then challenge them with reason. Remind yourself that the only true harm is to surrender your mind to despair. This exercise is more than just reflection, it's training. Every entry, every confrontation with your own thoughts builds emotional muscle that no external circumstance can break. You can also use visualization to harden your resilience. Picture scenarios that scare or unsettle you. Let your mind walk through them, rehearsing calm, deliberate responses. The Stoics called this the premeditation of hardships. By facing these imagined storms, you prepare yourself for the real ones. It's not about fear, it's about mastery. And mastery of your inner world translates to freedom in your outer world. Remember, living alone removes the safety nets that often dull our growth. Without someone to soften every blow, you confront your limitations, and then, gradually, you transcend them. You'll notice your patience deepening, your perspective widening, your reactions slowing and becoming more deliberate. You'll stop giving your power away to fleeting emotions or other people's opinions. You'll start answering challenges with reasoned action rather than instinctive panic. And once you cultivate that steady foundation, every subsequent hardship, no matter how intense, becomes manageable. It's not a process that happens overnight. Resilience is a muscle you develop with repetition, commitment, and conscious effort. Challenge yourself daily. Sit in silence, face your discomfort, journal your thoughts, anticipate difficulties before they arise. Track your progress. Reflect on how your responses evolve. Each small act compounds, and over time, you will notice an unshakable calm that others only admire but rarely achieve. So lean into this phase of life with courage. The solitude you may have feared is, in reality, your greatest teacher. Embrace it. Walk through life's trials with deliberate composure. Build your emotional resilience with each passing day. As Seneca said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." Rejoice in your independence, cultivate your strength, and let the quiet forge within you a mind that cannot be broken. Number 3, financial independence becomes both empowering and essential. Financial independence in your later years isn't just a nice-to-have. It becomes a lifeline, a form of liberation, and a measure of your self-respect. Imagine waking up each morning knowing that your choices are yours alone, unburdened by someone else's whims, obligations, or judgments. Seneca once said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Think about that. True wealth isn't about the numbers in a bank account. It's about the freedom to live on your own terms, to make decisions grounded in your values rather than in someone else's expectations. When you are financially independent, you gain the ability to craft your environment, curate your energy, and protect your mental space. But independence isn't just abstract, it's practical. Start small. Take stock of your finances today. Understand what comes in, what goes out, and where you can claim more control. This isn't a task for tomorrow, it's a daily habit, a ritual almost as important as your morning meditation or evening reflection. Journal about your financial priorities. Ask yourself, which expenses truly serve me? Which drain me without returning anything meaningful? Turn these insights into action. Cut the non-essential, optimize the necessary, and make each decision a conscious choice. When you lean into financial independence, you begin to experience a quiet confidence. You stop needing permission, reassurance, or validation from others. You can decide where to live, what to spend, and how to invest your time because you are accountable to no one but yourself. This is Stoic power, mastering what is within your control, letting go of what is not. You can practice this daily by setting intentional spending goals. Allocate money not as a burden, but as a tool to reinforce your autonomy. Being financially independent also protects you from vulnerability. It shields your peace. People who lack control over their resources often end up compromising, bending to the will of others just to make ends meet. You don't want that for yourself. Begin cultivating habits that reinforce your independence. Automate savings, diversify income streams, or even explore micro-investments that grow quietly over time. Each action compounds, not just financially but psychologically, fortifying your sense of self. Remember, this isn't about wealth for vanity, it's about security, freedom, and dignity. You can practice Stoic reflection here. Each night, review your financial choices without judgment. Ask yourself, did I act in accordance with reason today? Did I protect my freedom and my peace? This transforms numbers into purpose. Money becomes a vehicle, not a master, and you regain the calm certainty that nothing outside your control can dictate your life. And don't underestimate the mindset shift. Financial independence teaches you discipline, patience, and clarity. It forces you to make deliberate choices, confront uncomfortable truths, and take responsibility for your circumstances. Begin exercising this muscle now, not later. Track your progress, celebrate small wins, and remind yourself daily that every wise choice is an act of sovereignty. Said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Apply this to your finances. Own them, control them, let them serve you, not the other way around. When you integrate these practices into your life, you step into a space of quiet mastery. You are no longer at the mercy of circumstance. You are free to focus on what truly matters, your growth, your peace, your joy. And that is a power no one can take away, a form of wealth that endures beyond any number in a ledger. Number 4, deep self-reflection reveals your true priorities and values. Living alone in your later years isn't just about quiet evenings or the freedom to choose your own pace. It's a profound invitation to look inward, to strip away all the noise and distractions that once dictated your choices. When the world fades into the background and you sit with yourself, you begin to notice things you've ignored, values you've buried, and priorities you've been following without thought. This is where deep self-reflection enters, not as a casual thought, but as a deliberate practice that forces you to confront who you really are. Said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Living alone provides the rare luxury to exercise that power, to examine your inner landscape without interruption, and to recalibrate what truly matters to you. Ask yourself, what are the things in your life that give you genuine satisfaction? What pulls at your spirit and what drains it? The answers might surprise you because in the rush of daily life, we often confuse obligation with passion and habit with purpose. Start by setting aside intentional moments each day for reflection. Sit quietly, close your eyes, and ask yourself to list your priorities, your values, and the small actions that align with them. Write them down. Don't stop there, probe deeper. For each priority, ask why it matters. And for each value, ask if your daily life honors it. When you do this, you start noticing patterns, inconsistencies, and areas where you've been settling for less than your inner truth. Stoic philosophy teaches that clarity comes from discipline, and this is the perfect moment to practice it. Create a ritual, maybe at dawn or before bed, where you journal your thoughts without judgment. Let your pen wander across fears, hopes, desires, and disappointments. Reflect not only on your actions, but on the intentions behind them. Are you living in a way that aligns with your principles, or are you drifting in autopilot, reacting to circumstances instead of steering your own life? This isn't a fleeting exercise. It's a lifelong habit of awareness. You'll find that as you cultivate this practice, small, powerful shifts occur. Decisions become easier because your priorities are clear. Temptations lose their hold because you've defined what truly matters. Peace grows in spaces that once felt chaotic. And the most rewarding part is that this clarity isn't theoretical. It's actionable. You begin to let go of distractions, to say no to commitments that don't serve your values, and to focus energy on what strengthens your mind and nourishes your spirit. Seneca reminds us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. Deep self-reflection is your antidote to that waste. So take action now. Begin with just 10 minutes a day of deliberate reflection. Ask yourself, what do I truly want my later years to represent? Which choices honor the life I've lived and the life I still wish to create? Track your insights in a journal, revisit them regularly, and watch how your decisions start to mirror your truest self. Don't wait for clarity to arrive on its own. Claim it, cultivate it, and let it guide every move you make. Living alone gives you this rare, almost sacred opportunity to understand yourself deeply, to discover what fuels you, and to strip away everything that doesn't. Embrace it. Your later years can be the most aligned, meaningful, and fulfilling chapter of your life if you commit to knowing yourself and acting on that knowledge with unwavering honesty. Number 5, loneliness isn't weakness. It's an opportunity for intentional living. Loneliness isn't weakness, it's an opportunity for intentional living. That's not just a comforting thought, it's a challenge, a call to shift the way you perceive your solitude. As reminds us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When you live alone, especially in your later years, you have an unparalleled chance to choose the colors you want to paint your inner world. Solitude is not a punishment, it is a blank canvas. Every day, every hour, every moment is a brushstroke, and the life you create depends entirely on the thoughts you entertain, the habits you cultivate, and the attention you give to your own mind. You might feel the urge to fill every quiet second with noise, scrolling, or distractions, but what if you resisted that urge? What if you used these moments intentionally to train your mind, to refine your spirit, to sharpen your focus? Stoicism teaches that it's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters. Loneliness is not an emptiness to fear. It's a space to inhabit fully, to understand yourself without compromise. Start by observing your thoughts each morning, as Seneca advises, and ask yourself, what will I allow to occupy my mind today? Write it down. Make a small plan. Decide that your time will be spent in growth, in reflection, in clarity. Every quiet evening is an invitation. Stand in it. Breathe deliberately. Notice the rise and fall of your chest, the rhythm of your own heartbeat. Let the silence teach you patience, resilience, and gratitude. Guard your solitude as fiercely as a treasure, because it is where you can cultivate true freedom, the freedom from the noise of other people's demands, the constant pull of approval, the endless chatter that clouds judgment. Train yourself to enjoy your own company. Read slowly, journal without distraction, meditate with purpose. These aren't small acts, they are exercises in self-mastery, in reclaiming the sovereignty of your inner life. And yes, this requires discipline. You will feel the pull of discomfort, the sting of loneliness as something negative, but remember, discomfort is the forge of the mind. When you choose to sit with it, to embrace it intentionally, you are not suffering, you are becoming stronger, clearer, and more present. Each day you resist the temptation to escape into meaningless activity, you are affirming your control over your life. The Stoics called this the power to decide for yourself what you will allow to influence your soul. You can decide that your thoughts will serve you, not enslave you. You can choose to build habits that nourish, rather than deplete, your spirit. Begin small if you must. Dedicate 10 minutes to quiet reflection in the morning, another 10 before sleep to journal your observations. Challenge yourself to spend an hour without external distraction, noticing how your mind wanders and gently guiding it back to presence. Notice the subtle ways your body responds to attention and care. Build routines that honor your independence, that celebrate the capacity you have to be alone without being lonely. Loneliness is only weakness if you treat it like one. Treat it instead as a tool, a laboratory for experimentation, a teacher of resilience. By embracing intentional living, you transform what many fear, the empty rooms, the silence, the absence of companionship, into a sanctuary, a place where you are free to refine your character, sharpen your mind, and deepen your understanding of what truly matters. In time, solitude ceases to feel like isolation and becomes instead the arena in which your truest self is forged. So start now. Claim your space. Choose your thoughts. Build your rituals. Live deliberately. The opportunity is here, waiting for you to step fully into it. Living alone in your later years isn't just a circumstance, it's a canvas. The untold truths we explored today aren't meant to scare you, they're meant to empower you. You have the chance to reclaim your time, cultivate inner peace, and build a life that reflects your values, not anyone else's expectations. Remember, solitude isn't loneliness, it's freedom. Every quiet moment is an opportunity to practice resilience, gratitude, and self-mastery. Apply what resonates with you, embrace what challenges you, and let your later years become a period of deliberate growth, calm strength, and silent fulfillment. If you found value in this journey, make it a habit to revisit these ideas. Share them with someone who could use this perspective, and take one small action today to make your life more intentional. Because the path to modern Stoicism and a truly empowered later life starts with a single conscious choice. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. What if I told you that the most powerful journeys in life are the ones you take alone? That walking your path solo, rising without relying on others, and winning by your own grit is not just possible, but the key to unstoppable success. When you embrace solitude, you strip away distractions, doubts, and false dependencies. You become a force no one can ignore. This isn't about loneliness, it's about strength. It's about building a version of yourself so resilient, so unshakable, that those who walked away will be left wondering what they lost. They'll regret leaving you because you didn't just survive, you thrived independently. In this video, you'll discover how to cultivate that inner power, how to stand tall when no one's beside you, and why true victory is a solo conquest. Stay with me till the very end. The insights you'll gain could change everything, helping you rise, win, and become the person they'll regret letting go. Let's dive in. Number 1, embrace solitude to build inner strength. If you want to truly rise, if you want to win on your own terms, you have to learn one simple but powerful truth. Solitude isn't your enemy, it's your forge. The quiet moments you spend alone, away from distractions and opinions, are where your inner strength takes shape. As Seneca said, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Don't waste your time avoiding solitude. Instead, lean into it. Make it your secret weapon. You see, society conditions you to fear being alone. It throws noise at you constantly. Social media, chatter, endless updates, because it wants you distracted and dependent on others for validation. But that's exactly what stops you from developing resilience, clarity, and real power. When you step away from the crowd and embrace solitude, you create space for your mind to sharpen. You reconnect with what truly matters. You strip away the noise and distractions that cloud your judgment and dilute your will. Here's the challenge. Don't run from solitude when it shows up, whether it's voluntary or forced. Instead, face it head-on. Sit with your thoughts. Observe yourself without judgment. Let the silence wash over you. This is where you begin to understand your fears, your desires, and your true purpose. Reminded himself, nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. That retreat is yours to claim. To make solitude work for you, start with small, deliberate steps. Set aside even just 10 minutes a day. No phone, no distractions, just you and your mind. Breathe deeply. Notice what thoughts come up. Don't push them away. Let them pass like clouds in the sky. This daily practice builds your mental endurance. It helps you realize that you don't need constant external validation to feel whole or strong. Next, embrace discomfort during solitude. It's normal to feel restless or uneasy at first. That discomfort is growth knocking at your door. Instead of fleeing, sit with it. Train yourself to be comfortable alone with your thoughts, to face your inner critic without flinching. This builds a fortress inside, a place no one can invade or shake. Remember, solitude is not loneliness. Loneliness is the feeling that comes when you resist being alone. When you choose solitude intentionally, it becomes a powerful tool. It teaches you self-reliance and patience. It refines your character and sharpens your focus. So take action. Start today. Carve out moments for solitude. Use them to listen, to reflect, to build the quiet confidence that no one can take from you. As Epictetus said, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. In solitude, you're free from judgment, free to become the strongest version of yourself. Walk alone, rise alone, win alone, and watch as they regret leaving you, not because you needed them, but because you became unstoppable without them. Number 2, rely on yourself, not others, for success. Embrace solitude to build inner strength. This isn't just a poetic idea. It's a crucial practice if you want to rely on yourself and carve out true success. When you choose solitude, you step away from the noise and distraction that constantly pull your attention outward. In that quiet space, you meet yourself. Not the image you show the world, but the real you, raw, unfiltered, and capable. Solitude is where your inner fortress is built. It forces you to face your thoughts, your fears, your doubts without hiding behind the opinions or support of others. Once said, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Imagine the power in that, a calm, unshakable refuge inside you that no circumstance or person can invade. But solitude is not loneliness. It's an intentional pause, a chance to recharge your mind and spirit. It's a space to sharpen your focus and align your actions with your deepest values. When you embrace solitude, you gain clarity on what truly matters and what is just background noise. This clarity fuels resilience, helping you stand firm when life challenges you. Here's the challenge for you: don't fear being alone with yourself. Instead, invite it. Spend time each day without distractions. No phone, no social media, no external chatter, just you and your thoughts. Start small, maybe 5 minutes at first, and grow that time. Use it to reflect. What do you want? What can you control? How will you respond to setbacks? This simple habit trains your mind to rely on itself, building the muscle of independence. Seneca reminds us, we should crave solitude because it is the very place where the soul is cultivated. So cultivate your soul. Let solitude be the soil where your strength grows deep roots. Another exercise: when you feel overwhelmed by others' expectations or the chaos around you, step back and breathe. Find a quiet spot. Close your eyes and ask yourself, what is within my control right now? What is not? Focus only on what you can influence. This practice rewires your thinking to depend less on external validation and more on your own judgment. Solitude also teaches patience. When you're alone, results don't come instantly. You learn to trust the slow work of growth, understanding that success is not a crowd cheering you on, but your own steady progress and self-discipline. So commit right now. Carve out time for solitude in your daily routine. Protect it fiercely. Use it to become the person you can rely on, not because others support you, but because you have built a strength inside that stands on its own. You don't need a legion behind you. You need a solid self, and solitude is where that self is born and forged. Walk into that quiet space today. Build your inner strength. And watch as success follows, not because others carried you, but because you stood firm alone. Number 3, face challenges alone to develop resilience. When it comes to building resilience, nothing beats the power of facing challenges on your own. You might be tempted to reach out for help or look for someone to lean on. That's natural. But real strength, the kind that transforms your mindset and hardens your spirit, is forged in solitude. It's in those moments where you stand alone against difficulty, uncertain but unyielding, that your resilience is truly tested and shaped. Imagine what Seneca said, Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body. It's not just about surviving hardship. It's about actively engaging with it, standing firm when no one else is there to catch you. When you confront challenges without leaning on others, you teach yourself one vital lesson: you are enough. You discover your own reservoir of courage and capability that had been quietly waiting inside you. This doesn't mean shutting the world out or ignoring support when it's genuinely needed. Instead, it means shifting your mindset to rely primarily on yourself. When a storm hits, you're the captain of your ship. You make decisions, face discomfort, and keep moving forward even when every instinct screams to quit or depend on someone else. You become your own anchor. Here's something to try. The next time you face a problem, resist the urge to immediately seek advice or comfort. Take a moment, or better yet, several moments, to sit with the challenge. Write down your thoughts, brainstorm solutions, reflect on what you can control. This practice isn't about isolation for its own sake, but about cultivating self-reliance. Each time you do this, you're training your mind to become resilient, adaptable, and courageous. Reminded us, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When you face challenges alone, you learn to control your responses rather than the uncontrollable external chaos. This control is the essence of resilience. Let me be clear, resilience isn't built overnight. It's a muscle you develop with every challenge you decide to face solo. It's uncomfortable, yes. You'll feel vulnerable, exposed even. But these feelings are signs you're growing, stretching your limits. They mark the path from dependence to independence. So start small if you have to. Take on tasks or decisions that push you slightly outside your comfort zone. Stand firm in those moments. And remember, you're not just surviving the challenge, you're transforming yourself. Don't wait for someone else to save you or give you strength. The power is already in your hands. Face challenges alone, build your resilience, and watch how unstoppable you become. The journey might be tough, but the rewards, freedom, confidence, and a spirit unbreakable. Now take that first step today. Embrace the challenge, stand alone, rise stronger. Number 4, let your achievements speak louder than words. When you rely on yourself for success, the loudest statement you can make is not through empty promises or endless explanations. It's through the undeniable power of your actions and results. Let your achievements speak louder than words. This principle is simple, yet profound. It cuts through noise, doubt, and distraction, placing the focus squarely on what you do rather than what you say. Think about it. Words can be cheap. Anyone can claim to be working hard, to be committed, or to have big dreams. But how many actually follow through? The Stoics knew this well, reminded us that waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. No grand speeches, just steady, consistent action. Your achievements are your truth. They carry the weight of reality, not just hope or intention. Here's the truth you need to own right now. When you let your actions lead, you're showing the world, and more importantly, yourself, that you're serious. You're not dependent on validation or approval. You're building an unshakable foundation rooted in your own effort and discipline. This shift changes everything. So how do you make this real in your life? Start by setting clear, measurable goals. Break your ambitions down into daily actions that push you forward. Don't talk about your plans endlessly. Instead, prioritize doing. Commit to completing one small but meaningful task each day that aligns with your bigger vision. Let the results of these tasks accumulate into undeniable progress. Next, practice patience and humility. Real achievement often grows quietly beneath the surface. Resist the urge to boast or seek immediate recognition. Epictetus said, "If someone succeeds in provoking you, realize that your mind is complicit in the provocation." Similarly, if you find yourself craving praise, Recognize that your focus has shifted away from your work to external opinions. Recenter your energy on your effort, not applause. Here's a practical exercise. Every evening, write down 3 things you accomplished that day, no matter how small. Then reflect. Did your actions today bring you closer to your goal? This simple habit rewires your mind to value deeds over declarations. It keeps you accountable and grounded. Another exercise is to catch yourself when you start talking more than doing. When you find yourself explaining what you intend to do rather than what you have done, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me move forward or just filling the air? Then, redirect that energy into action. Remember, success is not about convincing others or broadcasting your plans. It's about consistently delivering on your promises to yourself. The Stoics teach us that virtue lies in action aligned with reason and purpose. You don't need an audience to validate your journey. Your achievements will make the case on your behalf. So choose to be the person who shows up, works hard, and delivers results. Let your life be the loud, undeniable answer to doubt. When you do, you not only build success, you build character, strength, and true independence. And that is a legacy worth creating. Now take a deep breath. Focus on the next step only. Start today. Let your achievements do the talking. Number 5, become someone they regret losing by mastering self-discipline. To become someone they regret losing, you must first become a person who commands respect, not because of what others say about you, but because of what you have built within yourself. That foundation, it's self-discipline. Without it, success is shaky, and your value becomes tied to external validation. With it, you're unstoppable, unshakable, and undeniably someone worth missing. Self-discipline isn't about harsh restrictions or punishing yourself. It's about cultivating the power to choose your actions deliberately, to resist short-term temptations, and to keep showing up for yourself even when the world doesn't applaud. Said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. That strength comes from training yourself to do what needs to be done, consistently and without fail. Ask yourself, are you the person who acts only when motivated by others? Or are you the one who moves forward because you've committed to your own growth? When you master self-discipline, you stop depending on others' approval or encouragement. Your drive comes from within. This internal fire makes you resilient. It makes you magnetic, and it makes them notice the gap you leave behind. But mastering self-discipline isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. Start small. Pick one area, maybe waking up earlier or dedicating 20 minutes a day to a skill, and hold yourself accountable. No excuses. When the urge to quit surfaces, remember Epictetus's wisdom. No man is free who is not master of himself. Freedom is yours when you refuse to be a slave to impulses. Here's a practical exercise. Each morning, write down one non-negotiable task, something that aligns with your highest values and goals. Commit to completing it before anything else. If distractions pull you away, gently but firmly bring yourself back. Over time, this simple act builds unbreakable habits and sharpens your self-control. Don't wait for external validation or permission to be great. Your success depends on your own choices, your own grit, and your relentless discipline. Become the person who rises while others rest, who acts while others hesitate, who leads themselves before leading others. When you embody this, those who left you will see what they lost. But more importantly, you will have created a life that's meaningful and resilient, independent of anyone else's presence. That's real power. That's true success. So take control today. Start mastering your discipline. Build your inner fortress. Become someone who can't be replaced, not because you need them, but because you don't. Remember this, walking alone isn't a sign of weakness. It's the mark of a warrior forging their own path. Rising alone means you're building strength from within, untouchable by others' doubts or distractions. Winning alone is proof that your success comes from your grit, your focus, and your unshakable resolve. They'll regret leaving you not because you begged them to stay, but because you chose yourself over everything else. So keep walking, keep rising, keep winning, and let their regret be the quiet echo behind your unstoppable journey. If this message spoke to you, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs this reminder. Stay strong, stay fierce, and remember, your power lies in standing alone.